Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Let them come.
And welcome to another episode of Where Heartbreak Feels Good. As always, every month we come back to discuss everything that we watch in the month of, and this time we're discussing August, even though we discussed a certain movie that came out in August already last month. But joining me today is my co-host, Joshua P. Woodberg.
Hello. I'm not sure what movie you're referencing, but
Right.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was like end of August, so wasn't it?
It was the 1st of August.
It was like August 5th, something like that.
Whatever. It was a good month. I didn't really see that many new releases, but I watched a lot of classics. I saw a lot of stuff in theaters, which was fun, and glad to talk about it.
I don't know how you're traveling to LA to watch all of these movies in this heat.
It hasn't been that hot besides like this weekend.
And joining us, as always, Evan Harris.
Glad to be back. August was a bit of a lull. I didn't drop the ball because I didn't do it on purpose, but Big Brother feeds have been popping. This is one of my favorite seasons of Big Brother in a long time, so I've been glued to the live feeds, not so much glued to my movie and TV habits. But I think I caught up on a decent amount of TV. Scripted TV and reality TV have been pretty good to me this August. Then going back to work has been, it's been a struggle to find time to go to the movie theater. And I just had a reunion last week. I've been having some busy weekends, and usually I'm not busy weekends.
Oh my god!
This man
Didn't mute himself. What is this? 2020. Anyways, so yeah, I've been busy. So I've hit a bit of a lull, but like I tweeted out, there was still some great stuff, both from TV and movies that I do have to discuss. So glad to be back.
Yeah, and before we start talking about everything that we watch, last episode, me and Evan, we were discussing the box office of the summer and our predictions for the fall and holiday. Go check that out. And during that episode, we announced that we were going to give away a digital code for Beetlejuice and 4K, which, fits because the movie is the second one, Beetlejuice is opening this weekend, so perfect timing. And we were going to announce that right now. I was just going to do it the way that we do it, Evan, like our little... spin the wheel type of thing. So let's spin it. And at Newtology, you won the win. You got it.
How do we spell that? Newtology?
Newtology. It's just like the word new and tology.
Sweet. Okay, cool.
Maybe there's like the little brother of Scientology. I don't know, but
hey.
We'll try to contact you later, or just shoot us a DM on Twitter. That would probably be the easiest way. So
yeah, we'll do that. Awesome, congrats.
And there will be at the very least 2 or 3 more movies, but for the remainder of the year that we're probably going to give away. So yeah,
love that.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Let's start it off with the correlation here. We just gave away Beetlejuice, DVD, whatever, digital. I watched Beetlejuice for the first time just last week. This week actually, a couple of days ago. I finally watched Beetlejuice for the first time. Like I was mentioning, I haven't been seeing a couple of movies this past August, so I'm like, I need to start going to the movies more. And if it wasn't for Beetlejuice, I wouldn't be seeing anything this weekend, but I'm like, I kind of want to see it. I'm not the biggest Tim Burton fan, not my kind of style for movies, but there's been a couple hits from his filmography. So I finally caught up on Beetlejuice, the first one with Nathan on My Cup of Tea. So go subscribe, Nathan Rojas' channel. And it was good. It was fun. I liked it. I liked good old classic 80s vibes from Beetlejuice. It had that, like I mentioned it at the end, a heartwarming, surprisingly more heartwarming than I was expecting, especially by the end. It's very joyous, which I really like. It's one of those joyous yet spooky kinds of movies that I kind of admire. It's very hard to hit that tone between like something that's kind of horrifying and freaky and supernatural, while also being super joyous and heartwarming with a solid message by the end, about like family and stuff like that. And of course, the evil nature of it all being about like capitalism and money people. But yeah, I really like the first one. So now I'm primed and ready for Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I saw it last night, and this is just like a pure classic, like just joyful. Like you don't really have to think much about it. It's just like let the vibes take over and just enjoy the ride. Probably one of my favorite Burton movies, just because again it's just like so much fun. Michael Keaton is just having the time of his life in this role, and he is good at Beetlejuice, but I think Catherine O'Hara is better in the second one.
We'll talk about it next month.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next month. But again, like this movie is great. Yeah.
Well, what's interesting to me was that sorry, Josh. What's interesting to me was that like he wasn't in it as much. I kind of talked about it with Nathan. I'm like, does he come in later than Harrison Ford does in Blade Runner 2049? It's really interesting.
Like he's in it for like 10 minutes or so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a while, and I was they tease him of course a lot, and he's on the TV screens, but like his presence isn't felt until like at least halfway or maybe even more into the movie, and I kind of admired that. And as a person who hadn't watched this, a lot of the vibes I got coming off of it was like, oh, he's going to be a central character, but no, he's not. It's really much so about like Alec Baldwin, his issues, and then of course the other family who moved in with Winona Ryder, and then the creep beneath the cupboards being Beetlejuice of it all. So I liked that.
Yeah, I watched it for the first time like a couple years ago. I really liked it. It was a fun time. Then I rewatched it a couple of days ago, obviously for the sequel. And it's a blast. Like it's really wholehearted and really imaginative for like an 88 film. Like I think also it's one of Tim Burton's best personally for me. Gina Davis, Alec Baldwin are great in it.
Really good comedic timing from the both of them. It was really funny, like commentating that movie because they were just so bad at spooking these people out of their house. If I was like, because we watch a lot of like Conjuring, Insidious kinds of movies. If people couldn't see me and my job was to get them out of the house and I could do all kind of like creepy stuff, it's a wrap. I'm getting people out in less than 24 hours. It's so easy, especially if they can like hear you too. Like if you can say something, they probably can't hear you sometimes. It varies, obviously. But like there was one scene where they put like the blanket over themselves, and then like they could see the blanket, but they couldn't see, of course, underneath the blanket or whatever. And I'm like, oh, this is easy, like Paranormal Activity. Like I'm getting people moved out instantly. I would have no problems, but they took forever because they were just so bad at it. And I thought that was very funny.
One of the funniest, like, I don't know if you even would consider it gags because it's just part of the plot, I guess. But like that the movie just ends with like the Alec Baldwin's character and his wife just like co-parenting this kid, like Winona Ryder by the end.
That was very funny. Yeah, I kind of didn't expect that, but their relationship was it was solid. It was solid throughout the movie, and I liked Winona Ryder's. She had a special charm to her that was kind of adorable at the same time. Like she wasn't just your typical like Violet from Incredibles. She wasn't just like even Violet is layered as well, but like she wasn't your typical goth person who's just like, oh, I hate life. Like no, she was pretty like imaginative, intuitive, like emotional towards the end with her deals and stuff like that. So I really liked it. I liked her character.
The dinner dance sequence is like, oh, it's perfect.
That was great. That was so great. I loved it. And I like the idea that like the people who are being spooked, the family that moved in, they weren't like super scared by it. They kind of took it as like an advantage. That was kind of surprising to me. They're like, okay, cool. We can use this for money. Like, let's invite other people over and see if we can get other people moved into this crazy house in this crazy town as an extension. So that was pretty unique and funny for the time. So yeah, enjoyable movie. Yeah, I think I need to look up like a letterbox of Tim Burton movies. Like this is up there, but I don't know what other ones I've missed or whichever ones I've seen.
What have you seen that you remember?
I don't know. Give me some examples.
Sweeney Todd,
Batman.
Oh, I love 89's Batman. Yeah.
and Returns.
Sleepy Hollow.
I never saw Sweeping Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow. There we go.
Edward Scissorhands is probably my favorite.
Nathan wants to show me Edward Scissorhands. I'm not the biggest Johnny Depp fan, so I haven't really watched
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Love that movie growing up. I haven't seen it in a long time.
You love it? Oh yeah, I think you remember telling me. Yeah.
Growing up, like
Really?
I saw that
a bit.
No, this is not a bit.
No. Like
I saw it before.
Me too.
I saw it too, but I didn't like it.
When I was a kid, Jalen and I watched it all the time. All the time.
Planet of the Apes.
What year did that come out? Oh, wait, he was the Mark Wahlberg Planet of the Apes, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I really need to see Ed Wood. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I do see it as well.
Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, yeah.
I skipped that easily.
I that's one I actually did like as a kid.
I skipped that. Was that 2013? Wasn't it?
2010.
2010? Yeah, I was old enough to know, like, yeah, this is not for me. I'm good.
It was all right. It wasn't terrible.
Bad.
The sequel, though, that was trash.
I heard that was that one Through the Looking Glass? That was the sequel? Yeah, my art teacher famously loved Alice in Wonderland, that live action remake. He said he saw it like 8 times. I'm like, oh wow. My art teacher, he was like, oh, it's gorgeous. But that was before I watched everything. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be more selective. That
wasn't Tim Burton. Interesting. Okay.
The sequel?
Oh, he just produced it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Alice in Wonderland, the first one, was like, it's not even my favorite like Disney classic film or whatever.
He's the one who kicked off the live action remake,
for
better or worse.
I always think Cinderella did it because like that's kind of like the main one.
Yeah, didn't that movie make like $1 billion when it came out?
The first one, Alice in Wonderland, yeah, because that was like the 3D, like big 3D,
like the first one after Avatar.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
3D.
Yeah. So what's next? What do you guys got? I saw on your thumbnail that somebody watched Didi. Somebody else watched Didi. Everybody's seen Didi now?
Yeah.
Did we all see it? Okay, cool.
Did I talk about this in July?
I don't remember. I don't recall.
When did this come out? I thought I saw this already, like late July.
I saw it like on Tuesday, so
August. Yeah,
I saw it in December.
Mine was like leaving theaters, and I finally saw it. I was like, I called the theater. I was like, "Are you guys gonna have this on Thursday?" And it was like a month ago. They were like, "We're not sure." I was like, "Okay, I'll go right now. I'll come. I'll hurry up and go see it because it was gonna leave." Yeah. Let's talk Didi. Didi, excellent coming of age movie. It kind of reminded me. Maybe I liked this a bit more, but it kind of had the same vibe of like your 8th grade, your mid 90s. Lady Bird. Less mature than Lady Bird. That's why I'm leaning towards like mid 90s and 8th grade. Because this one,
it's like a combination of all of those.
Yeah,
also with like its own voice.
Yeah, I think it's hard to clarify what kind of genre this is, but I always kind of say like it's the raw coming of age movies, and I see
coming of age dramedy probably.
Yeah, coming of age dramedy. I see raw because it has a similar to like Lady Bird, mid 90s, 8th grade. It has that natural sense to it where you're watching it and it's a lot more relatable than your other, I don't want to say blockbuster YA coming of age.
It's because it's more towards our age.
Yeah. And just because of the actors involved, like mid 90s had like some like, no-name kid, 8th grade, like the girl was really not a major star. And this kid, not a major star as well. It's like a lot of like no-name actors portraying the director's backgrounds and childhoods and all the awkward, relatable, impressionable time period for this kid. And I had a blast watching this as somebody, who lived through the whole like what was it? Were they on Facebook in this movie?
The rise of the internet,
MySpace, something like that. Yeah.
Some kind of social media thing where he keeps on like following his friends. I remember I used to go on Facebook and check who was following who and messaging some friends and girls, all that kind of stuff. And
Could have been me.
yeah, MySpace was like a good 2 years of MySpace, and MySpace had some good UI back in the day. Anyway, this movie was great. And I think the special ingredient of this movie, outside of this like the raw coming of age attitude, where it just feels like you can live with this kid for a good 90 minutes, it was the dynamic between him and his mother. And the mother had an arc of her own. What was her name?
Joan Chen. Oh my god.
Joan Chen. Yeah, she was fantastic, and she kind of like had her own mini arc within the film that you can easily relate to, kind of like the Incredibles vibe, where in Incredibles you can relate to the parents as well as the kids. In this movie, you can definitely relate to the kid and what he's going through in his impressionable life, and as well as the mother who's going through trying to raise her son, who doesn't really like her too much. He's going through a lot. She's being pressured by other adult like challenges. He's being pressured by like rising kid challenges, and they're both being pressured. They're both going through lives that they don't really want or desire, but they both kind of like, and they both have a lot of conflict between themselves. That was really interesting to watch, and I just loved how the kid and the mother navigated their weird but heartwarming dynamic. It was really fun to track throughout the movie. And like the romance stuff at all was very intriguing. Like, I was in the theater, I think by myself with one other person, but I was whispering to myself, like, what are you doing, dude? Like, what are you doing? Don't do that. Don't do this. Like the awkward kiss scene. I don't want to spoil it for people, or not kiss scene. Where they're at the park and whatever. And it's just like, oh man, what is this guy doing? But I'm saying that as like a 28-year-old, but as a kid,
we've all lived through that. Yeah,
I probably did the same thing. And there's so many times where I'm just like, you wake up the next morning, you're like, why the F did I just do that, or whatever? It's so good. And I love one of those movies where you can just vicariously live through these characters, and for that, I applaud it so much.
Yeah, this one caught me off guard because it was like a lot more like intimate and a lot more relatable than I thought it would be. Like obviously someone who's grew up around this era, around the Facebook, YouTube era, like this, like internet's ingrained into our childhoods. Like having these dynamics with friends online and in person, and like it's close to home for me. Like I see a lot of myself in Didi, and it's a great film. I love this film so much. And I think Sean Wayne, the direction is really something else, really great. And like we said, Joan Chen, the mother, incredible performance.
I agree.
It's funny because like I didn't necessarily grow up immediately with the internet, because for me, like I feel like I came into like social media and all of that kind of late, like in maybe like 2014. And it's not because I wasn't like allowed to, but it was like I wasn't really interested. I was still like, like fucking little nerdy kid, like into his movies and books or whatever. But like the experiences that he goes through are very universal, whether you went through that or not. Especially the whole like friendship of like losing friends, but you still care for them, but you also want to like, kind of like
having those Totsit friends that like you have no one else to hang out with, so you just hang out with them.
But also like knowing that they're behaving like little shits because that's what you do. Like even he himself is not like a great kid. Like
no, he's not.
Like one of my favorite scenes in the movie, which is heartbreaking, but again, it's just so fucking raw. Is the scene with the older kids when they're in his bedroom, and then the mom.
Yes, I was just about to say the exact same thing.
Her like shit, and they're like, "Bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's your mom." It's like, oh, like again, like we've all been there in one way or another.
It's great because, like, going through like psychology, sociology classes in high school and college, it's like kids always want to be so impressionable to, especially people older than them, older teenagers, and they think like, oh man, like my parents, they always get on my nerves. But growing up, like you realize your parents have your back most of the time, and it's like, why it's not necessary to be rude to your parents. how else are you like living in the room that you have right now? Like, how dare you push them out of your room? It's not even your room; it's their room, and it just kills me. It's like I haven't experienced it obviously, but it's just like I could understand what the older kids were thinking. Like, dude, it's your mom. What the heck are you? You don't got to impress us. There's no need to like impress us. Just be you, dude. But as kids, the essence of quote unquote being you is very hard. It's hard to be you if you don't know who you are. And what this movie Didi really established was just like him growing to understand himself, his friend groups, who he wants to be close to, who he doesn't want to be close to. And I found that very relatable and interesting to track.
It's hilarious.
And I love you go.
I'll just go real quick. I'd say just because that scene is like very like kind of heartbreaking, but then just in the background there's this little joke of one of the guys saying like this kid kind of sucks. I mean,
yeah.
But go.
Maybe we should walk away. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say like I love how it doesn't like wrap things up tightly too. Like it's kind of like on a more sadder note, and like that just fits this movie.
It was real. It's like the way the girl, she felt bad about the whole kissing disaster, but then Didi just ghosted her. And if I'm the girl, I'm just like, what the hell? Like, that's kind of awkward. We were friends before this. We were growing to become friends, and even if the date didn't work out, like at least say something. But then like he's rude to her friend. Then first day in high school, it's just like, nope. We're not gonna do this.
And
it's
he like kind of falls back on the toxic friend again. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't even think the friend was being as toxic as Didi was a lot of the time as well.
Oh yeah.
Like the friend was very bad in terms of like, hey, there's not enough room for you. Like if somebody said that to me, like, hey, there's not room for you, we're done. Oh, it's game on. Yeah. It's like, don't talk to me for a couple months. That's harsh. But at the end of the day, you became friends with him for a reason. And you might not be as close anymore as you grow up, but we usually tend to fall back on those kinds of friends. So maybe he matures, maybe he doesn't. That's the beauty of this movie. It's just like you don't really know, and that's life.
Nebulous,
it's nebulous, exactly. So I just really appreciated this movie. It was very fun to watch and awkward as hell. I'm sinking into my seat plenty of times. Music is great, and it has that it has that like Asian aspect to it, where it's just like you have to like the rigid, like I want this, and this for your future. While at the same time, Didi's kind of like going against the grain there, and doesn't really want to do that. He wants to be in like media and stuff like that. So I found that to be very fascinating as well. The kind of culture clash there.
The relationship with the sister is really good. Shirley Chen, like that last scene where they're like trying to say goodbye, but like not really caring, like not trying to show emotion, but again, like clearly gonna miss each other.
It's one of those things. Again, I just love growing up where it's just like you don't know when you'll see your sister again. She's going to college. You're still in high school. You're just starting high school. Bit of an age gap there. Remember this hug. Because she is your sister. She's the one luck you have in life. So I appreciate that as a sibling myself, and who had plenty of cousins who had to leave as well growing up.
Yeah, but, I have a older sister. Like there's a bit of an age gap there, so like I totally saw myself in there in that moment.
That's great. That's awesome. Didi was a bit of a surprise for me. Definitely one of my favorites of the year. I have not ranked it yet. I've been terrible with ranking. But it would be up there. I had a blast watching this. This was a Sundance flick, right? Or this just came out last year.
Mm-hmm. Sundance. To segue, to stay on the bit of the same page, Joan Chen, she's also in Twin Peaks, and I started watching Twin Peaks.
Good for you! I've never started this.
A David Lynch horror mystery supernatural series from a while ago. Something I've always wanted to start. I think it was like 80s, 90s.
Oh, 80. Wow, I'm way off.
But I watched the pilot, which is the first. I think it's a 90-minute episode. God fucking damn. It is fucking incredible. Some of the best, like one of the best pilots I've ever seen. Just the world building Lynch instills here is incredible. If you don't know what the show is about, this high school girl, Laura Palmer, is found dead on a beach. And that's how the episode starts. And the pilot follows this town and her family and friends dealing with the aftermath of her death. And like the tone shifting that Lynch like creates here, like going from goofy to like heartbreaking as fuck throughout this whole episode and these first couple episodes, is like masterful. It's like it's as good as you've heard. It really is.
So there was Twin Peaks, which was like how many seasons in the 80s, 90s?
2, then they came back like a couple years ago for another one.
Okay, because I remember hearing about it a couple of years ago. I was like, oh, I thought that's why I said like early 2000s.
Which is supposed to be like one of the best seasons of television. So I'm excited to do that.
Yeah, I heard of. So is this not anthology?
No.
Okay, it's straight narrative the whole time.
I think you're thinking of X-Files, maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
I haven't seen that either.
Me neither.
But it's on Paramount Plus. I highly recommend watching at least the pilot, seeing if it's your thing. I think it would.
I do have Paramount Plus. I watch plenty of Big Brother and Survivor. So yeah, so I'll definitely use it.
Sticking with Lynch here real quick, I saw for the first time Mulholland Drive.
Nice. I've never seen this either.
And this movie is interesting because I didn't love it, but I feel like this is one of those like upon repeat viewing it could grow on me. It's very much like, I don't want to spoil it, but it's very much, well, as you're watching it, you're kind of trying to see what the movie is about because there's like a lot of storylines, and that's, it kind of reminds me of like Pulp Fiction, of like, okay, this is good, but like how does this relate to each other? And like eventually the third act comes over and you're like, oh, okay, it starts clicking with you. It feels like experiencing like a nightmare while you're awake, which I mean, I think you could say that about most.
I think that's all.
Movies.
All David Lynch movies. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good. The 4K Criterion, beautiful baby.
Love it. Love that for you.
You also saw Velvet, right?
Yeah, I saw that last month. That was in July. Yeah. It's great. I love that one. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I liked it a lot when I watched it for the first time.
The film I've seen is sorry.
No worries. Go for it. All right.
Yeah, you know.
this motherfucker. No, I liked it. I liked it fine. I liked it a lot, and then it just stayed in my mind, and it just kept growing on me. So yeah.
Yeah, the only film I've seen of his so far is Eraserhead, and it's very much the same. Like at first I liked it, then it just kept staying in my mind. Like that's a fucked up movie. If you haven't seen it.
Nice.
Have you seen any Lynch, Evan?
Nope. I think I've seen zero David Lynch.
Not Dune?
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
But you know, his name is so prominent in like film. I remember this one guy in my film class in college who was like a huge David Lynch fan. Couldn't be me though. I mean, not that it could be me. I shouldn't say couldn't be me. It wasn't me. It's just that, you know, I didn't have the time or the prerogative to watch any of his films. Yeah, but maybe they are for me. Maybe I might change my mind sometimes. But yeah,
I feel like they get very weird and like dreamlike and experimental. So I don't know if that's your thing.
Probably not.
Yeah. Probably not. Full sickle.
Yeah, no, I'm not a full sicko.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All
right. What next?
There was a big one, an important one. Let's talk about Alien Romulus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we all saw Alien Romulus.
Do you want to talk about it, or do you want to? Because I know Josh saw Aliens finally for the first time.
Oh shit! What the fuck?
I saw Alien for the first time. I saw Prometheus and Alien Covenant for the first time also.
Shit. How should we do this? Yeah, let's do Aliens, Prometheus, Covenant, and build up to Romulus. Let's do that. Josh, impressions, Aliens.
All right.
James Cameron?
Aliens is a really fun time. Jimmy Cameron cooked big time, but I think it's just not as memorable as the first movie for me.
That's wild.
And I like the first movie a lot more, and I like the other movies we'll talk about a lot more too, which is probably crazy. But I don't know. I thought Aliens was just like the first movie, but more and less horror, which is what made the first movie like really good for me. So I don't know. It wasn't my vibe as much as these other movies.
Oh, I adore Aliens, and it's one of those movies that goes back and forth for me between Alien and Aliens. Alien has that close knit horror vibes. Aliens, for me, not as scary, but still has a lot of horrific scenes and imagery when they go into like the ship and the colony. Just the number of aliens, the exponential number of aliens compared to the first one, which is an alien, just ups the ante.
I think it's way more effective with just one alien.
For me, I like the number of them because it also adds to the tension and adds to the character work, and the characters in Aliens for me are the best squad, bar none, in any of the movies. Like I love a lot of the Alien movies, a lot of the Alien cast between Alien and Aliens. I mean, like prior to Romulus, which I really love Andy and Rain a lot. But like in Alien and Aliens, I love a lot of those characters. I love me some Bishop, right? But I love a lot of it's game over, man. It's game over. Like I grew up quoting that movie in high school, and it was just it's such a fun movie. It's intense. Ripley's arc in both of the movies is very fun to watch. Growing up, especially in Aliens, waking up and realizing like you missed so much of your life and having that like emotional damage to you, especially in the like there's like a new cut, I forget what it is, but like she realizes that like you might see her family or whatever.
Yeah, the director's cut. I saw it for the first time.
Exactly.
The director's cut, and it's like this like mini subplot with her daughter, and like she's like old as she already died.
Exactly.
And that like makes like her relationship with Neo a little bit stronger. I feel in the director's cut, even though you definitely feel the runtime. Yeah, the runtime.
Yeah, you definitely feel the runtime a bit more. But also, speaking of her daughter, Nathan and I have been playing. Well, he's been watching me play Alien Isolation, which is a fantastic game.
I need to play that. Yeah,
it's focused on Ridley's daughter, Amanda Ripley. It is a fantastic 10 out of 10 game, in my opinion. Just one of probably the scariest game I've ever played.
It's just canon too, right?
It's canon. Oh yeah. It's a great game. But going back to Aliens, yeah, like Edgar mentioned, her and Newt. Like you can't beat that dynamic. It's so pure. It's so good. It's so like heartwarming, and it's a great emotional anchor for the film. If the number of alien might be a bit too much, you can get really focused in on the relationship between her and Newt, which was very good. Again, especially considering she lost her family. And this is a delicious found family. That trope never gets old for me. I love a good found family. And it just worked here. And the whole climax, it's very samey with Alien. You know, the alarms are blaring. She's running out of time. She's got to escape. But, you know, going through a lot of the Alien filmography, the entire Alien and Predator filmography, all of them are very samey. Which I'll get to Alien Romulus, people comparing or complaining about that, but like all the Alien movies are very samey. We go to a planet, we realize, oh shit, we fucked up, we got to go away, and that's the plot of the movie, for better or for worse, for a lot of the time. But anyways, the ending with the Queen and the elevator and the intensity, and then she walks out of the elevator with the construction bullshit, whatever it's called, the crane arms. It's fantastic. It's great. I loved it. Yeah, I just love Alien so much. It's a magical movie for me.
You like it more than the first one?
It's tied. It depends. It depends what day it is. Is it Monday, Tuesday, Friday? I don't know. So it's a day of the week kind of thing for me. I go back and forth. If I want a good horror vibe, I'll watch Aliens. If I want a good action vibe, I'll go see Aliens. but it's a bigger. It's less discrepancy like for another James Cameron thing like between Terminator and Terminator T2. Like T2 is astronomically better in my opinion.
I wouldn't know.
You should. T2 is one of my top 20 movies of all time. You should watch it. Anyways, so yeah, Aliens is just it's goated. It's goated for me at least. Edgar, where are you on the spectrum? Where are you on this?
Between those two, Alien definitely. I just like the vibe more, and also the director's cut of Alien is like
peak.
Yeah, it's great. Like surprisingly, it's shorter than the theatrical one, but like they add like several scenes that are like, oh, this is creepy. Like
it's
again, like
gnarly. The alarms are blaring. She goes into one of the ladders, and then you see like the nest that the alien has infested. And it's like you see like what's his name? I think one of the captain. I think
the captain,
who's still alive, and it's just like like it's quick and it's uneasy, uncomfortable how quickly the alien makes this arena.
And also, I just love the fact like even like put the sequels, prequels aside, like the fact that they made like when they get to the ship, I forgot what they call it, like the alien ship. Yeah.
The alien.
And it's just like that entire set like that they built just for like 2 minutes. It's just
wild,
incredible. Like it's easily, and I don't know, it's gonna sound like hyperbole, but like it's easily one of the best looking movies ever made.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Alien is and then like one of the best jump scares, top 5 of all time in Alien, the in the vents.
Yeah.
It's like whoa, it's wild. It's great. Like
it's no Exorcist 3, and it's very good.
What's that?
No, Exorcist 3.
Yeah, no, Exorcist 3 is
peak.
Oh my God, Nathan had it recorded, so now it's on the internet forever. But yeah, that got me. Especially I'm watching it the whole time. Like, what's that? And the build up is perfection.
I also saw it for the first time the director's cut or assembly cut, whatever they call it, of Alien 3, and even though it's not my favorite of the franchise, I really liked it. Like we've been talking about it, me and Josh, like how Alien Covenant is probably like the gnarliest of the franchise, and like if that's the gnarliest, I feel like Alien easily. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's the bloodiest.
If that's the gnarliest, I feel like Alien 3 is like the saddest, and like that movie has like
it's sad, all right.
Yeah, like it's like the weakest movie in terms of like the alien stuff. I feel like it's not very interesting to me, but like the character work in that movie and like how the tone that it like establishes for itself was Ripley is great.
That's Fincher's debut, right?
Yeah,
kind of.
It's crazy.
Kind of. Like
I know there's like studio involvement.
I'm with Fincher on this. I don't know how much say he had in the movie, how much this movie had to be put out, and he was like, "Sure, I'll do it. You do me. I'll make 7 after this," kind of thing. It doesn't align. As a huge Fincher fan, it doesn't align. I don't see a lot of Fincherisms compared to like 7, Zodiac, his other late 90s, early 2000s work.
It's funny because even though he hates this movie and a lot of people don't like it, I feel like this movie has the most iconic imagery in any of the Alien movies.
The prison setting.
Yeah, not that like the single shot of the alien closing on Ripley against the wall.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't hate Alien 3. It's jarring at the beginning. Have you seen it, Josh? Alien 3?
No, it's on the list though.
No spoilers, but something happens at the beginning, jarring, hated it. But then the rest of the movie by itself, the prison setting is interesting, and Charles Dance is one of the best supporting actors in the franchise.
He's in this.
Okay. He's in that, yeah. He plays a character called Tywin Lannister. I'm kidding. Yeah, he's great. Alien 4, though, is inexcusably bad in every sense of the word. It's
Resurrection.
It's a Trojan. It's not as worse as AVP 2, which is the darkest movie ever made. But it's up there. It's bad. It's bad.
AVP 2 would get the throne for gnarliest if you could actually see what was happening.
And
it's actually dark.
It's dark and it's uncomfortable, and it's not like, oh, this is interesting. No, it's just icky. It's just icky, disgusting. I want to turn off my TV. It's bad to the bone. I hate that movie to death.
Do you care about spoilers for that one?
I mean, by the time I watch them, I'll probably forget what you say. So go ahead.
There's a hospital
for AVP, right?
AVP 2.
Yeah,
I probably won't watch it.
It's a direct-to-DVD movie.
Yeah, so like,
really,
the kills are actually pretty inventive, but I guess again, like, you can barely see anything. But like the movie itself, like it ends with like the U.S. bombing a whole town to kill the alien and the predator, and then all the characters are like, "What the fuck?" You know, like again, like on paper, pretty dark, but again, like I don't care.
No,
what should I care?
I think the darkest moment is the hospital scene. There's actual pregnant woman in the movie trying to give birth. Mm-hmm. The hospital's under attack. Alien comes up to her, does its thing, and I'm just watching it like, this is so unnecessary, disturbing. Why am I watching this? I really, it's one of my worst like scenes in the franchise. And
the only Predator movies I've seen are Prey and 2018.
Oh God, that's quite the dichotomy. Yeah,
Prey is great.
Prey is fantastic. 2018 is awful. Anyways, going to Prometheus, which you guys kind of like, I guess.
Fucking adore this movie. It's my second favorite Alien movie. Hello?
Still claps. I'm with you. I hear you. I disagree with you.
Yeah. Okay.
Not enough.
I just think it's like it looks fucking incredible what they're doing with the story, and like I think David's the best character in the series after Ripley. It's such interesting character work.
If not the best, easily the most interesting, even above Ripley.
Yeah. I think the characters are dumb, but it kind of adds to the chaos of it.
What?
It adds to the movie.
What kind of bullshit excuse is this? Adds to the chaos.
First movie, even in the first movie, they're dumb.
Yeah.
When Ripley is the only one who's like, "Oh, we should probably put him on quarantine," it's like,
that's complete. It's completely different, and I've been saying this since 2012, whenever this movie came out. This is Prometheus. They have an objective to go to the planet. The people in Alien are just like construction workers. They have no idea what they're fucking dealing with. In this one, they have a scientist,
and they meet fucking God. What do you expect to happen?
But they have like degrees, and they're a lot smarter characters. Don't tell me these characters are so smart, trying to discover new life.
God.
We didn't say that we're smart.
Yeah. I couldn't stand any of the characters in Prometheus, especially in Covenant. Covenant's worse. But
I think this movie rots. I think the score is like incredible. I think it looks great. I think what they're doing with the story and with the characters, and it's really interesting. And I think it's some of the cool coolest set pieces in the franchise. Like
I agree.
What the surgery scene, right? Like that. Oh my God, that's brutal.
The best what?
That's like chest buster scene, whatever you call it, since the original. Something about this movie that I would love to watch, because I know it exists. It's out there somewhere. So there was like this fan, I guess, that took the movie and like re-edited it with like the all of the deleted scenes, because they deleted a lot from this movie, and a lot of the stuff that they deleted would actually kind of like explain a lot of the things. Like
I heard about this.
I know there's like almost like 17 minutes worth of like the engineers, or at least the engineer, the one in the movie. There's like I've seen the shot of
what's
like
in the prologue or the one at the end?
Just throughout the movie, like, but the one image that I've seen is like him like in the spaceship in Prometheus, Prometheus, the ship. He's like picking up a book or something, like he's trying to like figure out what these people are about. So again, like I would love to watch that. I haven't actually like seek it out, but that's something that maybe on my free time I would want to.
Wow. Yeah, it's interesting to me. I've had such a weird experience with Prometheus. I'll never forget seeing this movie in theaters. It was me, my brother, my mom, and my dad, because we were huge Aliens fans, AVP fans. And we went to go see this, and it was just not what I expected. It was a learning curve of a movie, because, you know, I was one of the general audience who was just like, I expected to come in and see an Alien movie, and that was definitely not it. But growing up, I tend to like respect the movie a bit more. on similar things to what Josh and Edgar are saying, stylistically, this movie is gorgeous. It's a gorgeous movie. The shots in the atmosphere on their venture into the planet, gorgeous, stunning. And when they're leaving the planet, gorgeous, stunning. And the score. Who does the score again? I forget his name. But it's just a fantastic score. Fantastic score. Visuals are incredible. And Edgar mentioned like the beautiful shot.
Straightenfield.
Straightenfield. Okay.
The Gray and American Gangster.
I love The Gray. What a great movie. Joe Carnahan's The Gray. Great movie. Anyways, but for me, I just never could get attached to any of the characters. And I like what's her name? Naomi Rapace. She's great. She's solid. I shouldn't say great. She's solid. But David, of course, is the scene stealer here. He gets a bit more to do in Covenant, which I like that David a bit, or I like that version.
You don't like Idris Elba and Charlize Theron?
No, not at all. I forgot. I keep forgetting they're in the movie.
It's fun.
Nah, they're not my cup of tea.
Sean Harris? Come on now.
Nah. They're just not memorable to me.
Even as a fan of this movie, I do think this entire trilogy that he wanted to do would hit harder if David was the main character from the start.
Yeah.
Which I think is a hard sell as a synthetic being your main character. You want that human emotion.
Like almost like make it like a villain origin story in a sense, because I mean that is what it is.
Yeah. It's hard, but I kind of would have bought into that as well. But yeah, this movie just for me, it's a lot of great stuff in it, but then I'm just bored some of the time, and then it's just like, okay, then they just got to run away and leave at the end.
Maybe it's just because like I am a newcomer to the whole franchise anyway, so like I don't have those expectations. Like, oh, this is an Alien prequel. Like, I just think it's a really cool sci-fi movie.
I agree, and I think you're not. You shouldn't have to say that. I think there's a lot of people who grew up watching Alien to adore Prometheus and Covenant. For me, it's just like I come in these movies for the characters and their journeys. I just didn't really enjoy it outside of David, who was such an enigma. But I've come to really enjoy his character on rewatches for this movie.
And Covenant, my favorite, the best.
Covenant's your favorite, which is wild to me. Like I remember. I lost a bet because I was not excited to see Covenant after Prometheus came out. I lost a bet. I went to go see this with my friends from work. I didn't really end up liking it on first watch. I thought it was just fine. But on a rewatch, I kind of might like it a bit more than Prometheus. I can't tell. It has the same exact flaws where the characters are really they're a lot dumber in Covenant than they are in Prometheus. But
you have Danny McBride as a space cowboy.
Danny McBride is hilarious. David is on.
Michael Fassbender is one of his best performances.
The dialogue, like this movie will have some of the dumbest dialogue ever, and then you'll cut to David, and he's just fucking
right.
It's great. It's fucking
great. He's fucking writing with the pen on fire.
It's weird because, like, I think I said this in our Covenant commentary, but it's like there's something I'm just like, oh, this is so dumb. Cut to David talking with flutes and shit. I'm just like, okay, this is like. It's such a emotional roller coaster in terms of like great writing, bad writing, great writing, bad writing. But did David stuff really work?
I think it's a little. That's why I think it's a little messier than Prometheus, personally. Like, whereas Prometheus is like a bit more consistent.
That's a good point. Yeah, I'm also torn between those movies.
Ideas here are still really fascinating. Yeah, what they do to like continue David is like incredible. Love it so much.
It's so weird with these movies, like. Whenever I watch them, I peer inside Ridley's head, and I become so fascinated on the origin of life in this universe, how the chronology of it all, what David's legacy is in terms of its creation his involvement with the creation of the aliens. It's so fascinating, and what he has to say about life itself is very interesting. But it's within a messy movie. It's so hard for me to appreciate this movie, even though it's fucking gorgeous. It's really gorgeous.
Yeah.
This movie. The ending, the whole escape sequence is meh.
Love it.
But yeah,
I love it. To me, like this movie, like it very much feels like the studio kind of telling Ripley, hey, can you just make an
Big
alien
time.
movie?
Big time.
But also it also feels like Ridley realizing like the engineer stuff is not that very interesting. And the most interesting part of Prometheus is David and him like trying to like get his vision while he's trying to like deal with the studio notes. And like I feel like for me, like again, like if I were to compare this movie, I think it would be like closer to how I feel with like Evil Dead, like 2013, of like it's just like pure fucking vibes. Um, so yeah, that's probably why it hits for me so hard. Yeah,
I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna make the comparison a lot with Romulus. I think Evil Dead. What I love about Romulus is why I really loved Evil Dead 2013.
I think Romulus is like way safer compared to what Fede did with Evil Dead. Personally,
but in terms of the story,
me and Edgar talked about like Covenant is like what. Like you should, I think you can compare Covenant more to Evil Dead than you can to Romulus.
Yeah, that's if you would have told me what does an Fede Alvarez movie look like in the Alien universe, I would have compared it to Covenant. Yeah,
but I mean, I think there's something we need to discuss. Okay, like a Fede Alvarez movie. It's like sure, people are expecting some like carnage, but also in terms of the Alien franchise. Despite the alien being like this mega destructive organism, there's not a lot of like brutal carnage in a lot of the.
There isn't this movie.
Yeah, in Covenant, sure, 1 in 6. Like Alien, is there any carnage scene? Aliens, is there really a lot of like brutal sequences? Not really.
Those are like I feel like that's different because those are like 80s movies, 70s. We don't.
What other movies have there been in the franchise?
I'm not talking about the franchise. I'm just talking about like movies in general. Like,
then cut to Prometheus.
You can't really get away with like that much blood in the 70s.
Sure, but then Prometheus is not, you have that one like.
But that's not what they're doing for. They're doing more for sci-fi than like horror.
Then what are we talking? You're naming one specific example, which is Covenant.
I think what he means is that Fede, he's known for a lot of his like fucked up like horror type of shit. Like it's not even like let's put Evil Dead like to the side. Even though the first Don't Breathe is not super graphic, a lot of the stuff that happens in that movie it's really messed up. Like even like everybody remembers like the
imagery
thing. Yeah, imagery.
Like again, his work is usually mean spirited. I think is the best word, and I don't think Romulus is that mean spirited, at least compared to Covenant.
Up until the end.
Yeah, up until the end. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway,
I still like we'll get to it. Yeah, I still like Romulus.
Are we done with Covenant or?
Yeah, we're done. I mean, it's shocking it gets actually like number one because whenever I watch the movie,
it's number like 3 or 4 for me. But
it's a frustrating movie for me because I'm watching this. It's like greatness.
Yeah, but like
mixed between not so.
Evan, the white xenomorph, what's fucking dope.
It does look cool.
It's so cool.
It does look cool. I do. Again, visually, I'm like, oh man, I love this. And they kill off Naomi at the beginning of this, and I get Catherine Waterston as a result. It's like Catherine.
Yeah, she's great. She's better.
It's just so jarring. I mean, I wouldn't say she's better.
She's off-screen James Franco death. It's great.
Yeah, speaking of that, it's just like there's a whole like YouTube video about like getting to know these shipmates. Did you guys watch this? Like the whole prologue?
I do agree. It's not just one. It's like several short films within the content. Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 of them. Like, why is this not in the movie? You should have included it in the movie. It actually makes you care for the characters.
I remember I never heard about this, but when I was watching like AMC Movie Talk back in the day, it was like 2017, and they were like, "Yeah, you should like watch these shorts." I watched the shorts before I saw the movie.
It's like what they did with the shorts for Blade Runner 2049.
Exactly, like the Black Lotus shorts of 2049, the Blackout shorts.
I think I watched those either.
Those are really good. Like it explains why LA is like has been like blacked out. Anyways,
Billy Crudup also. I like Billy Crudup here in Covenant.
Billy, yes. He's good. He's great. First act.
Also, something that I feel like people always forget, like everybody always gets mad that David is the one who created the xenomorphs. There's a statue of a xenomorph in Prometheus.
Yeah, he didn't create them. He's
so it's weird. I think he created. I don't think even Ridley. I think maybe Ridley does understand what he's doing with his movies, but like the whole creation thing, like I mentioned, I get so invigorated and immersed in like the ideas of this creation, but it's left hanging. And there's a lot of like I don't
Well,
say plot
that's not
holes.
Ridley's fault. Like he was
No,
planning to do another movie.
but at the same time, I'm just like, it makes like watches of the franchise kind of difficult because I'm just like, you get to Alien, the original, and like
That's a Fox thing. Blame
Like,
that on Fox.
How did this get to this, get to this, get to that? I'm just
Also,
like,
I feel like a lot of the complaints about like creation of the Cinemores, like people not liking that in the prequels, I think it's kind of dumb because a lot of the plot of what's the name of the company again? Something
Wayland,
yeah. A lot of the plot in Aliens and Alien 3 is them trying to get them so they can like experiment on them and create like immortality essentially. So it makes sense for Ridley to see that and be like, oh, that would make for a pretty cool, compelling character motivation for this guy David. So
big time. So yeah, speaking of Wayland Yutani and how fucked up they are, let's jump to Romulus. Where Wayland Yutani is at it again. They're kind of like the Team Rocket of the Alien franchise. Like they keep trying to create
fucking horrible AI deep faking.
Yeah, they're trying to create this organism again by trying to manipulate the perfect organism, and it doesn't really work out that well. Full spoilers for Alien Romulus now, by the way. Because speaking of like the characters from the previous movies and then even Aliens, the Rain and Andy dynamic in this movie is really shocking and like fantastic for me.
I remember the best part of the movie.
I was reading about it and it was like, oh, the sibling dynamic. I'm really curious to see how the sibling dynamic works in the franchise. We kind of really had like a mother-daughter thing with Newt and Ripley, but we haven't really seen like a strong sibling dynamic, and having it be with a synthetic played by David Johnson there.
Great.
He was excellent. Josh and I, we love our what's it called? Rylane Peak. And he's great.
I need to watch Industry, man. I'm this close to starting Industry.
You stole the word right out of my mouth. Speaking of not Industry, but Josh, I'm going to start rewatching Legend of Vox Machina this month in prep for season 3.
Yes, October. Hell yeah.
I rewatched season 1 before season 2, but now it's been another year, so I'm like, okay, let me rewatch it again.
We gotta do a whole I want to do a side note. We should do a whole podcast about that. Like a whole episode.
I would love to. I love those characters.
I know he watches it too.
Oh, he does. Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, David and Kaylee's chemistry was extremely really good. Like I had a great time watching their chemistry. The back and forth they had. It was very emotional. The visuals of this movie are astounding. Like when she wakes up, and she had like the whole dream sequence scenario. It very much reminded me of like Rey. Like in The Force Awakens, I've never seen this much green ever in my life, whatever. It's then like when she first sees the sun, it's very much like the beginning of a great heroine's journey. Like you're in a dark, underdeveloped world, and then you're finally getting a brighter look at a new possible future. And of course, both Rey and Rain go through a lot of chaos along the way. But yeah, I liked again their sibling dynamic and how it changed throughout the movie, where Wayland takes control, and that kind of changes up the dynamic through the movie in surprising ways. And then, of course, the whole alien horror element of it all was really strong as well. It was more of a bubbling horror, which was akin to like the first one, whereas like you're establishing the characters, the setting, the capitalist horror of it all before getting into the actual horror with the alien.
Personally, I think the first like half of the movie, it's solid. It's a little dull, and I think it's like plays it too safe. Personally, like, and it's being like the greatest hits of the first two movies, with a little bit of Prometheus in there, especially towards the end. But once we get to the zero gravity scene, that's where the movie really kicks off for me.
Yeah, I kind of like seeing this world because usually we're introduced and they're like instantly inside of a ship before they get to the new world.
That was cool, seeing it like outside.
But I like seeing like the outside atmosphere, where it's like we get like 0 days of like sunlight in this, like establishing like their horrible living situations. that Wayland just put them under. And then the whole like again reminded me of Force Awakens, where she gets to the sentencing place where she's like, oh yeah, I just want to trade in like my work credits or whatever. It's like, oh well, looks like you got another like 12 years to go. It's like, damn, like
That's
I love
Josh at Disney.
it was great. And I'm just like, damn. And then she walks outside, and then people are just shitting on Rain's brother. I forget his name now. But yeah, David's
Andy
character. Andy, there we go. Thank you. And Andy, and it was just really his whole plight and the plight of synthetics and how he related to the other members of her team. Really good. Speaking of, I really liked Isabella Mossad, who was excellent as well.
Always great, yeah.
She's always great. Yeah, she never delivers a bad performance. She killed it.
I'd say she's like one of the good parts of
Madam Web.
Madam Web. Yeah.
and Trans.
Maybe not good, but like she's decent. Yeah.
Yeah. The only movie I had not seen her in was like the Transformers movie and the Dora movie. I've seen everything else she's in. So yeah, I kind of dug the beginning because again I like that like slice of life personally of what they were going through. But yeah, once they get into the actual ship, that's when shit hits the fan. Of course. And speaking of Alien Isolation, like oh my god, like Fede did a lot of excellent like game Easter eggs, I guess you could say, in terms of like the map, the plotting or whatever. Like, oh, okay, we found the cryo chambers. Oh, it's out of power, so we have to go through the elevator down to like the lower levels. Like, it was big like gamer vibes there, which was very fun. The map, there's like some save point Easter eggs there. I just love the whole setting of this whole Romulus station. So yeah, I love that aspect of it all. And then yeah, once they meet the actual xenomorph, they meet what's it called?
Rook.
I keep saying Rook, but I keep mistaking him for the other guy from Alien.
That's what it's happening, Evan. You're remembering.
Yeah, he's what's the name of the guy from the first Alien? What's his name in Alien 1? Ash. Yeah. Which I thought it was Ash, but then it's actually just another synthetic, which I should have just think.
Man, what they did to I don't know. I heard the actor's name. What's his Ian Holm? What they did to Ian Holm, fucking disgusting. Why do we need this AI? I don't know if it's AI, but it was like it. I don't know why we need deep faking in this, but
I didn't hate it that much actually. I didn't hate this aspect of the movie. I didn't mind it too much. It was kind of surprising. Wasn't my favorite, but I mainly just didn't like it because of the exposition dump of it all.
That too.
But his role was as creepy as it was in the first one. So yeah, I didn't mind it too much. It didn't really hinder my desires.
It's different than any of the deep faking we've really seen before, besides like Terry Fisher. But it's just to do someone who's passed away without their family's approval. That's kind of iffy.
I think they did though.
Morally, did they?
Yeah. They had a family to stay. The family.
Yeah, the whole thing is that the family said that he wasn't really getting a lot of work when he was still alive, so this was like their way to like, oh, he would have loved to come back and do something like this, right?
Which is shocking.
Like shit. So,
shocking.
I agree.
I think it didn't look too. It wasn't too distracting for me personally.
It's distracting because it's both a puppet and they're trying to like do their CGI,
the digital aspect.
And it's just very distracting. Like for me, like I've seen a lot of people imply this, and I get the criticism of like, oh, it would have been just like Alien Covenant, but like I feel like emotionally, I would have been more like impacted if it was like another android that looked like Andy, and you could have had like that conflict of like the good and the bad one. Again, it would have been very similar to Covenant, but I feel like that would have made it would have been a more compelling emotional arc also for Rain, like
for Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. that'd been interesting because Andy does go bad as well.
Yeah, so might as well. Like you're
similar
already doing
bad.
it.
You're already doing
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I could see that argument as well.
But nostalgia.
Yeah.
Oh, but we talked about the last like 40 minutes of this movie where Fede ups the fucking freaky shit.
Oh yeah, it gets crazy. But even before that, I thought this movie was incredibly thrilling. Both with the zero gravity sequence was outstanding.
Yeah.
Continued along with the elevator sequence, which was incredible. The way she falls, gets caught by the alien was fantastic. And then the whole escape sequence. Meanwhile, we get some great. Oh, even before that, we got a great sequence where Isabella Merced's character is like running away from the alien, like slowly, but then running. She gets to the door and it's like, "Get me out of here!" But then we have Andy, who has been turned by like the Wayland group, saying like, "I'm not opening the door." Cut to the alien just peering over the ledge. I'm just like, this is peak. Like it was one of the most heartbreaking scenes I've seen all year, where you have Rain and the other her like ex just like weeping and like slamming the door, like, "Let us please get to her." He's like, "Nah, fam, I cannot do that." And then she just gets taken. It's like, oh shit! Like I thought she was fully dead by that point. I'm glad she survived.
Wow.
But yeah, it was incredible. And then the way she looks up at Andy slowly, and Kaylee's just like, "What's your prime directive here? Like what's your like directive?" It's like,
I have a new directive.
Yeah, it was so good. I was like, "Oh damn!" And the way they just like have to, because of the intensity of the situation, they have to continue moving, even though their best friend just like in their eyes died. Was really an astonishing scene. I really loved it, like on an emotional level. But yeah, and then like going back to it, we mentioned it, like the whole face hugger situation from the trailers, and the whole "What's in the water? What's in the water?" It was really good. It was really fun. And again, I felt like once they got to the space station, this movie felt so immersive in terms of like, what would you do in this kind of crazy situation? And again, in contrast to other previous movies, I felt like these people were fish out of water. They're quite literally teenagers who had been, used and abused by the system, and they really just wanted an escape and had no idea what they were really dealing with. I like that aspect of it in comparison to the first one. And then, it had a cool like YA feel to it because they were such young characters, just dealing with a crazy organism. And then I know.
Sorry, I know there's tweets about it and stuff. I know Fede has like talked about playing the game, but you're getting Ellie vibes from Kaylee Spenny in this, right?
Oh, big time! Oh,
Ellie
big time!
Part 2, yeah,
yeah, Ellie Part 2 vibes for sure. Just in terms of like her survival aspects,
the look,
and her look. Yeah. Her look was really big. Ellie Part 2, the way that the hair was tied back like that. I really appreciated it a lot. Which was crazy again, yeah, because Fede tweeted about it like he was playing it. He was playing Part 2.
Dina so much that she made this character pregnant, then got Isabella Merced to play her, and now she's playing Dina.
Crazy,
really
crazy.
Cool.
He's a true fan. He should really thank Neil. So that was just really crazy. And then the seedy underbelly of this movie though is that like the Weyland Yutani, by capturing the organism from the first movie, is trying to prolong human life and create the perfect human, in terms of like, hey, we need a way to survive, which is very fascinating because the kids have been dealing with the Jackson Star colony, another Last of Us Easter egg, Jackson. They're on the Jackson Star colony trying to survive. The whole plot started with them trying to survive from Weyland. Meanwhile, Weyland is also trying to survive in terms of trying to create the perfect organism. I like that parallel between their plight and the plight of the corrupt company. Just trying to create the perfect human organism to survive their own fucked up, way of life where they're sucking the life out of young children. It was just very very poetic. Again, the beauty of the Alien franchise is when the company aspects, the horrors of what the company are doing, molds into the horrors of the perfect organism, the alien. So I thought that movie did very well on that aspect. And then the whole ending, gnarly. One of the best jump scares of the year with the new organism that was birthed from Isabella Mersad's character.
I wouldn't even say it's a jump scare, but just the reveal. Like you could just hear like a pin drop like on the theater. Like what the fuck was that?
Like the collective gasp in the audience, like oh shit! Like what are we watching? It was amazing. It was incredible. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, that for me is easily the best part of the movie. Besides like the core relationship between the two main characters, because like for the first time in the entire runtime, I felt like the movie was having some type of personality on its own, besides relying on, oh, you remember this, remember that, oh, like this is kind of like this. So yeah, like I just really loved all of that.
Yeah, it was really strong. It was a strong finale. There's a sequence where she's getting pulled, the acid, she plays a smart trick on it. The acid breaks through the flooring. The alien's right there, and they both kind of collide into like the expanse of space, and like the sand is flowing out into space. It really reminded me of the Dune Part 2 sequence of the sandworm for the first time, where you can kind of hardly see Paul as he's trying to ride the worm, and then in this sequence you can hardly see Rain as she's trying to get the alien out of there. It was really cool. In the background, you can see the colliding Romulus station. I thought the visuals in the final act were really impeccable there. So yeah, and then the whole
kinda, I don't know if let down is the right word, but like having the split station and we only see one part of it. Because it was Romulus and what else? What was the other part of it called?
I'm not sure. Romulus was the whole station. Right? Like, Romulus was the whole station itself. That was the name of the dead space.
It was split in half, though, right?
Yeah, it was Romulus and something else with an R too.
Okay.
Yeah, and we don't see that part.
Maybe Remus.
I think it might have been Remus, something like that. It's some stupid name like that.
That would make sense. Remus and Romulus.
Roman name.
Yeah. We have a statue of Remus and Romulus in Cincinnati, by the way. That's very weird.
Is there a weird little freak white guy?
No, it's just like the two babies, suck on the wolf thing. Yeah.
Great design, just so fucking good.
Exactly. It was so great. But yeah, I really enjoyed Alien Romulus. I don't have too long here, but it was one of my favorites of the year. I really had a great time with it. I can't wait to get it. Oh, I didn't mention it, but looking at my review here on Letterboxd, I love the score from this movie as well. Same guy who did Blade Runner 2049, Benjamin Wallfish. The sound design was really good as well. And then, yeah. So, did everybody see Sing Sing this August?
Yes.
We finally all see Sing Sing.
Third best movie of the year ever.
You said third best?
Yeah.
You still have this behind Challengers and Dune?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't rank it yet, so I don't know. I'm just teasing.
It is 7 for me, right behind Didi.
Right behind Didi. Oh, I'll put this above Didi comfortably.
Yeah, Didi's 4 for me.
I feel like
Didi's 4. Wow. Interesting. Okay. Where do I rank Didi? I think I enjoyed movies like Furiosa more than Didi, but
well, Furiosa is 5 for me.
They're all in the top 10. Doesn't matter. But anyways, Sing Sing. This was officially, I'm saying it the first time on camera, the first time I cried in a movie theater in a long time.
Oh shit!
What was last? What was last?
It was. I don't remember the last time actually.
Was it Rise of Skywalker?
Not for the right reasons. No. But it was the sequence. No, I don't want to give any spoilers for this movie. It's not really a spoiler kind of movie, anyways. But it's the scene when
spoil the cameo. Morgan Freeman cameo.
When Coleman Domingo is kind of like he's reached rock bottom, he's kind of lashing out against his people. His friends. that really broke me because he's such a heartwarming, rock hard anchor for the entire crew. But eventually, the setting takes its toll. They've been in a prison. The system and the way this movie contemplates the injustices of the system, the hardships living within this setting. Coleman Domingo's emotional tug and pull with like the joy he feels within this program, with the sadness he feels of, again, just the crushingness of the system, trying to find the joy within the birdcage per se. And it's really astounding. Or, one of my favorite anime quotes, like the garden within the birdcage. It's like you create like this garden, you create like this happiness, this joy, this avenue of joy that is so giving, so heartfelt for a lot of people within the program. But then you realize, like, you go outside and there's still a fence. You still go outside, you're still being told by the other people, like, it's not going to be your time yet. You still have to come back. Meanwhile, other people are elevating and leaving. It takes its toll.
Some of the best photography of the year, those shots of Coleman Domingo like by the window and just reaching his hand, like
so good. You can't beat it. Like it's cinema.
I think the one that broke me, spoilers for the movie. At one point, one of the characters, he passes away, but before that's revealed, before that's revealed, Coleman Domingo, his character, he says goodnight, not knowing that something already horrible.
Oh my god!
And you cut to the outside of the rooms and the dark side, and then you see Coleman Domingo. There's like a light.
The sunlight peering through. Oh god, that was
this
that
movie
was
is like. I think it's losing steam, but like if it won Best Picture, I would be happy. But it is incredible.
It's a weird rollout from A24. It was a weird rollout.
It is not a good strategy. But that's a whole different topic. That's a whole different topic.
Because what other A24 contender do they have there?
Clear, but I don't think it's competing that much.
Yeah. So
I still think it's like top 3, top 4, but we'll get to that in our
different podcast, guys. Like and subscribe.
I was saying what this has to say about like art and how it connects us and how it like is that thing that we can rely on through to like hard times and through like literally the worst possible time in our life.
It's the only thing that we have, stories.
Yeah, stories are what like make humanity, and just everything it has to say about that and how like the dynamics of these characters, how they like change, and how like Torrance Macklin is fucking unbelievable in this movie.
Let's talk about it, man. Fantastic.
Like,
one of my
his first role, like, oh my god.
Wild.
Unreal. Fine. Yeah. Unreal discovery.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the best supporting performances, probably my favorite so far this year. We've had a luxury of great supporting performances this year, Dune, Furiosa, but like Clarence Macklin was just something special. It really touched your soul with how raw
the stuff he does with his face, like his facial emoting is just unbelievable.
His relationship with Coleman, one of the best relationships I've seen all year, bar none. It's just the whole like new blood, old blood factor of their relationship.
I thought they were gonna play it as they're gonna be rivals because they're like he took his role or whatever, and I'm so glad that we didn't go that route.
I'm so glad too, Edgar. I had that inkling. I'm like, oh, don't do that, but they didn't. They played on it because obviously it's there, right? It's the jealousy there, but at the same time, they become brothers through their harshness, through their reality of the situation.
And we're doing spoilers, right?
Sure, let's
do it.
Again,
the ending when like he pits them up from when he finally gets the my god.
I was like, this is some Shawshank Redemption levels of like just joyous, like living, breathing new air, new life he has been given. Oh my god, I think I teared up again during that reunion scene. I was like, oh my god. Like,
the theater director is also like really funny. Like I love
all racy, dude. Hell yeah.
All racy, coming back from Sound of Metal,
Sound
right?
of Metal.
Yeah, so he was great as well. still understanding, empathetic for all of them as
This
well.
whole ensemble was like great. Like it's totally an sad ensemble. Like it's unbelievable.
Yeah, the whole credits
They're all
like
great.
played himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
And again, just to like build that to the scene that you said that was the one that broke you, the one like the lashing out scene. Like what comes before that? Not only like the death of that one character, but also his hearing and like them trying to weaponize his love for like storytelling and like the theater arts to like not grant him his freedom. The faces, just the little expressions that Coleman Domingo makes in that moment. So good.
It was
His
so
best performance,
good.
I think. I don't know if like I still think Euphoria might be his best, but he's fucking incredible here.
No,
I would go with this movie just as a single entity. I would say this movie. Coleman, he's great in like 10 episodes,
he's great in
12 episodes. He's great in all of the episodes of Euphoria, but it's like
I think the standalone episode with him and Zendaya, that's just
the Christmas episode,
fucking unbelievable. Yeah.
Just him at a bar, just giving her reality. It's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to go real soon. I want to quickly
wait, one more thing, just to say, like, this is my favorite prison movie, I think, of all time. And I can say that because I have now seen Shawshank Redemption this month.
Oh, you like it more than Shawshank?
I like it more than Shawshank. I think Shawshank is really great. But I think the intimacy of Sing Sing, I think, works better for me. And maybe because I saw it first also. I don't know. They're both great though. I think Shawshank is as good as everyone says it is. Morgan Freeman's great. The scene with Brooks. Oh my god.
Yeah, fantastic. It's one of my mom's favorite movies, so I grew up watching Shawshank a lot. You know, it's why I love the library.
The escape sequence. Oh my god. Cinema,
dude. I love that. And then of course the whole freedom sequence as well. Really, really. I love Shawshank. What a great classic movie. I've never been to the Shawshank location. I think it's in Ohio. I love Sing Sing. I love Shawshank. Real quick, did you guys watch Blink twice as well?
You're gonna see it tonight.
You think you did not, Josh?
I was going to, but I was tired.
Did you see it tonight, Edgar?
Yeah.
Okay. So I liked Blink twice, short and sweet. We'll talk more about it once you guys have seen it. But I liked it. It's not doing anything crazy or revolutionary, but I think it was a great directorial debut for Kravitz. I think she had a great direction, great cast, nice twists and turns. It's very entertaining. The beauty of it is with the chemistry between Naomi and Adriana Arjona. I butchered her name probably. The Andor.
Arjona,
yeah. Well, she's excellent. She's had a killer year so far with Hitman, Blink twice, of course, Andor in 2022. She's always really great, so I loved watching that. Blink twice is very fun, solid movie. I rewatched Sky High this month with Nathan. A DCOM classic. I say DCOM, but it was in theaters. But you know what I mean.
It's theatrical, yeah.
Yeah, but you know, it was always on Disney Channel.
That's the same vibe, yeah.
Same vibe, yep. And it's a classic. I love it. One of my first time seeing Danielle Panabaker, Mary Elizabeth Winstead in the same movie. So what a classic, fun, great film. And before I go, I just want to discuss some of the TV I saw. None of you guys watched like Cobra Kai season 1 or season 6, but Cobra Kai, you do?
Yeah.
Oh wow! Did you watch Cobra Kai, my guy? Oh sweet! I love Cobra Kai. It's cheesy as hell, but the character work always surprisingly really good. In season 6, no spoilers obviously because it's season 6, but like Robbie and Miguel have a great relationship, great brotherhood relationship. I love Robbie and Miguel, and I like what they're doing with the Kreese as well. In that season, what's your favorite character? Who's your favorite character in Cobra Kai, Edgar? Do you have one?
I don't think I have a favorite. I like they're all pretty likable for the most part.
I like Miguel. I think Tori is like one of the writers really like Tori. Yeah, they give Tori a lot of great emotional shit.
They always give her the best.
Painless, exactly. Painless gets a lot of the great material from this show. It
Yeah,
used
I
to be
haven't seen
Miguel.
any of the Karate Kid movies, so that's a big blind spot.
I'd recommend them, especially 1 and 2. They're really good. I watched all of Batman: The Caped Crusader on Amazon Prime Video.
Ooh, okay.
That was a fun show. Super, it's fun, classic like early 70s vibes. It's even more like nostalgic and 70s noir feeling than even the animated series. Just in terms of like the verbiage, the setting, the characters there. I like the distinct look and unique style of the villains. A big standout is what they do with Harley in the show. It's really fun. And then also before I go, quick Ring to Power. Shit, I watched the first 3 episodes of Ring to Power. I caught up last night. Excellent. Really good stuff. And season 1 I thought was solid, but I liked it because I'm a fantasy guy. I'm a huge fantasy guy, and the fantasy elements were really strong in season 1. But season 2, I'm actually liking characters. Like, I like Isildur now. Isildur in the first season was just like, meh. He's great in this one. The political stuff with Numenor, interesting. But Sauron being the pseudo main character, that is my shit.
Well, I'm only 1 episode in, and like I tried to
rewatch.
I tried to rewatch season 1 leading up to this, and like I like the show. I like the show a lot, but I never really got really like emotionally like connected with any of the characters. Like again, like them, but there was something missing. And just 1 episode into season 2, the conflict is already there, and it's really fucking.
The premiere is great. The Galadriel Sauron relationship is peak.
Her relationship with Elrond.
Oh yeah, man, I'm liking a lot. It's very much character rich. Well, season 1 is very plotty and like establishing the lore, the setting, the situations. Season 2 is really digging deep into the character relationships and what they can truly become in season 2.
And that kind of reminds me to like the early episodes of season 2 of House of the Dragon, where it's very character focused.
Yep. But okay,
before you go, have you started Only Murders season 4 yet?
I have not. The first episode is this week, right?
It was last week. We're on episode 2 now.
Wow. Okay, I'll catch up tonight. I can't wait to watch it. How was it for you?
It's a fun time. I mean, this show, like, it is starting to overstay its welcome, but like I can't help but not have fun with it. The trio is so much fun, and
it's out.
Huh?
It's out.
It started last week. Week. Yeah, 2 episodes in.
I know.
Hulu's really bad for it, but I'm excited because I like where season 3 ended, and I'm very curious to see what they do with this whole meta storyline.
They're going a different direction. Like, it's cool. I won't spoil it, but like it's cool what they're doing with it. They pick up right where it left off, and the emotional beats from that ending of season 3 are fucking great. And yeah, we'll talk about it next month when you catch up.
Cool. So you guys can continue if you guys have more stuff to say. But yeah, I have to go. So I'll catch you guys later. Again, find me on Harris EV9, where I'm playing games, talking Star Wars and stuff like that. Renew the Acolyte, do all that kind of stuff. And then live my best life. So I'll see you guys later. Peace out.
See ya.
All right. What else do you have? I only have like 3 more. Well, 4,
I did say at the top of the episode, I saw a lot of new movie or old movies for the first time. I went on a big Tarantino kick because I had only seen a few of his movies. So I decided, why not just start? Right, I have a few of them on 4K. Might as well start watching those and watch some other ones. So I started with Reservoir Dogs, his first movie. I actually started with Inglourious Bastards last month, but I think we talked about it already. Great movie. Incredible movie.
Yeah, I think you did.
Fassbender coming in for the scene. So good. But in Reservoir Dogs, I was surprised at how much I like this. It's like for his directorial debut, it's really intense. Like the things he does with the camera here are really fucking cool. The drama, the tension is great. This ensemble is wonderful. It's just really solid like crime flick.
Yeah, for the longest time, I used to say that I liked that movie as like almost like my top Tarantino over like your typical picks like Pulp Fiction that everybody always goes for. Again, like you said, like just the environment and like how much like one room movies are very hard to pull, obviously for the very obvious reasons. But I feel like one of the key things of messing it up is you don't really get to stretch the plot or the character arcs in a good way. I feel like another movie that both of us love that did it really well recently was Sanctuary. Of like you're just
Mm-hmm.
dragging that entire idea to its maximum potential. That's very similar also with Reservoir Dogs. And again, like you said, like the camera work, like I haven't seen the movie in a bit, but like when he's like cutting the ear and it just like pans across the room and like you don't see it, and then
Dude,
you
yeah,
cut
like
back to it.
that's I was gonna say, like the thing about like Limitation movies that like the camera's really static most of the time. And like the things he does here are like fucking unbelievable. Like the split diopters, the dolly shots, like incredible shit.
What do you watch after
Like
this?
the way okay, after that I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at New Beverly in LA, the Tarantino theater. It was like I hadn't seen this since release, so it was like one of the best theatrical experiences to watch like the Tarantino movie in the Tarantino theater with a sold out crowd. It was just the best time, and I liked it a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen this since theaters. I watched it twice, I want to say, when it came out. I have a bunch, like you have a bunch of Tarantino movies in 4K. They're just collecting dust because I'm waiting for him to make his movie so I can start my rewatch. But that might not
you're
happen
waiting
anytime
a
soon.
long time.
Yeah. But yeah, I loved it. I love that movie too. That ending, the entire climax
so
sequence,
fucking
is so
perfect.
good.
Yeah. And just like it's the ultimate vibes movie. Like it's long, but like it doesn't feel it because you're just having a great time with it with these characters. Then from that, I rewatched The Hateful Eight, which is probably out of the ones I've seen, my favorite Tarantino. I just really love the snow vibes, the murder mystery of it all. The cast is incredible. The reveals with Channing Tatum are incredible, and just like the performances, like Walton Goggins, Samuel Jackson, like it's probably some of his best like directing and performances he gets out of his tasks.
Yeah, like you, and again, unpopular
And shot
opinion.
really fucking well.
Yeah, like you, unpopular opinion. This is my favorite Tarantino. Again, another example like a Reservoir Dogs of just being confined in this one space. Yeah, we cut to like flashbacks and everything, but like for the most part, we're just in this one cabin. And again, the character word, the dialogue is always super sharp. Like you said, the cinematography is great. I wish there was a 4K release of this movie because it looks incredible. But where did you watch it? Do you have a?
I watched
physical
the
copy or
extended
Netflix?
edition on Netflix, which was my
Okay,
first
okay.
time watching it that way, and I think it adds a lot. Like it's really cool. I loved how it's split up in chapters, mainly because you get to see that intro 4 times, which is incredible because I think it's one of the best fucking opening credits ever. That like Ennio Morricone's music is unreal in this movie. Yeah, it's just the vibes. Vibes are great.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think the last Tarantino I watched in this little block was I watched Django for the first time. And man, what a fucking movie. It's as good as everyone says. It's probably one of the shortest 3-hour movies I've ever seen. It just goes by like that. It's Jamie Foxx, incredible. Christoph Waltz, probably the best I've ever seen him. It's incredible. I don't know what else to say. Like it lived up to everyone's expectations.
Yeah, I know a lot of like I mean obviously for obvious reasons like a lot of people don't like this movie for the obvious like Tarantino just being a weird guy behind the scenes and like him being obsessed
Yeah,
with the
there's that.
themes with the themes that he likes to explore. But like I get it, but also and this is not to
He's
justify
cooking,
this-
man. He's
yeah,
cooking.
like not to justify these people's actions in the real world, but like sometimes good art comes out from like not great people and like you have to kind of live with that.
Yeah.
You haven't seen Kill Bill 1 or 2?
Yeah, Kill Bill's the big ones I haven't seen yet. That
Yeah.
and that's
Jackie
it.
Brown.
Jackie Brown I haven't seen.
Jackie Brown is my blind spot. Kill Bill, I like those movies, but I've never gotten the hype just like most other people do.
I
Like,
need to.
everybody
Those
loves
are-
the first one and second one, and they're great in their own. But yeah,
Yeah, those are up next on the list. Also Death Proof, the Grindhouse double bill. That'll be fun to watch at some point. All right, do you have anything?
give me 1 second. Let me, you know, Josh, me, you, Evan. We like to be partial, even when we don't like something. At least we try to. But there's a few movies every once in a while that come along, and I try to find something to like, but I just couldn't with this movie. Borderlands is fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
I watched it. Funny enough, it was my first experience going to the Chinese theater here in LA.
Oh wow!
That movie of all movies, beautiful theater, by the way.
Great theater.
Great IMAX. But yeah, this movie is just like feels like it's an autopilot. All of the actors don't feel like they're in the same scene, like they shot it the same day. They just feel like green screen. One of the ugliest movies I've ever seen in my life, especially for this budget. There's not a single joke in this movie that lands. It just feels like and I said this in my review, where it feels like out of touch executives seeing something like Guardians of the Galaxy, trying to emulate that with another franchise.
With ChatGPT, probably.
Yeah, probably. Trying to emulate that and just completely missing the entire point of why Guardians work. Because yeah, sure, it has the music, it has the bombastic music and all of that, but like you said, those movies work because of the heart, because of the characters, because you get to care about these weirdos, even for a freaking raccoon and a tree. They tried to do that with this movie, and I just couldn't care. Like, to me, the biggest enigma of this movie is A, how did they get this cast? How did they get these people? And B,
money.
and B, who thought it was a good idea to put this cast together? Because even again, everybody on their own, pretty good actors. How are you gonna sell a movie with Kevin Hart, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kate Blanchett, on a movie based on a video game? Like, your target audience is like teenagers or like people that grew up with
it is like, who is this movie for?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird movie. And another movie that I thought I was gonna hate, like a lot of people did, but I didn't. Was the, I don't know what you want to call it, reimagining remake of The Crow. Not great, but I thought there was at least, like we were saying earlier, there was at least an attempt made, and you can kind of see it on screen. Like, I'm surprised just how much I like the cinematography in that movie. There's this shot in the opening scene. It's like a close-up shot of the eye of a horse, like reflecting the sky, and it's just like beautiful. Bill Skarsgård, he's solid. Everybody's solid for the most part, but it's mostly the problem here is the script. Like, it's just not great. The dialogue is kind of like laughable. Even though I think the movie looks great, I feel like it lacks a lot of style. Like, that original Crow has like that punk rock gothic vibe to it, and this just has none of it. It feels like they were trying to emulate something like John Wick, and it does look like John Wick, and it looks pretty, but it doesn't really feel like its own
doesn't have
identity.
The substance.
Yeah. So again, not terrible. It feels like a movie that you throw on a Saturday while you're doing laundry or something. I don't know.
You also watched the original for the first time, right?
Not for the first time, but I did rewatch the 4K, and yeah, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, I got the 4K recently, so that'll be a first time watch, probably sometime this month.
Yeah, and other than that, I mean, I went to my first what's it called? The surprise screenings from AMC. There was a skincare.
Yeah.
And it was fine. It was whatever. But I don't know if you want to talk about Cuckoo real quick.
Cuckoo. Yeah.
Did
we talk about last month?
I don't think so.
It was okay. It was that month. Okay. Yeah, I think it was a fun movie. I think it was a little underwhelming. I think it was just like, I don't know. It was a little like all over the place. Not really tried deciding on what it wanted to be. The vibes, right? Kind of not like kind of clashing, not meshing well.
Yeah, the vibes are
I
there,
think
but
it,
the intention, I don't know what its intention was really.
yeah, I think Hunter Schafer is fucking great in this movie. Dan Stevens having the time of his life, like he has been recently. I think it looks great. The music's really fun. I think the design for these creatures, I guess if you want to call them, really cool and interesting. And just the whole premise, I guess, is really interesting, but it doesn't really execute it that well.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like again, like I said, like I got like for me, what didn't really mesh together is that they were trying to get me to care for this relationship between these two stepsisters, and I just didn't. Like the movie makes
It didn't really set it
very
up as much.
it's barely there, and then I don't know where in the third act I'm supposed to care, and like the family dynamic is all over the place. The monster.
I feel like the character choices were like very inconsistent.
Yeah, like the dad
Like-
is like, oh, I wanna like I wanna love both of them, but then the next moment he's just being an asshole, even though like Hunter Schafer literally got in an accident too.
Yeah, and the older guy who's helping her like turns on and comes back to her side, then turns her on her again. Like I don't see what the purpose of all of that switching was for.
And what's her face? Jessica Henwick. She's barely in this movie.
Wasted. What a shame.
Yeah, but another movie that is, and this will be like the last movie for me of the month. Even though I thought in September, but whatever. Strange Darling.
Yes. Okay. Let's talk about this fucking dope ass movie.
This movie.
I think we should not spoil this one.
No.
Very, very top level thoughts.
Yeah. The only thing
this is
that
one
I
of
will...
those like. This is one of those you gotta fucking go in blind for.
Yeah. The only thing that I will imply about this movie is its structure. The way that the movie is structured is very, so cool. Very smart. By the time that the movie opens and you see what it's doing, it's like, okay, there's something in here that it's more than whatever I saw in the trailers, and I don't necessarily know why. I have an idea, but I don't know what it is. And then the movie starts slowly unveiling itself, and it's just some of the best acting that I've seen this year.
Willa Fitzgerald, like, oh my fucking god, dude, that's like up there for actress for me right now.
Yeah, like she's
incredible.
Like, again, it's very difficult to talk about this movie because I was about to compare her performance to somebody else, but that would be a spoiler. But yeah, like again, like just go watch this movie. Everybody always tries to like claim that they want more original movies. Go watch this movie.
This is fucking original. It's creative. It's like the definition of like fucking cinema, man. Like it looks incredible. It has some of the fucking coolest style I've seen in a movie this year. The score and the original songs, like incredible, dude. Like they're so good.
It's very
the opening credits like blew my mind.
Yeah, it gets
they
very
put a fucking troll in this movie, dude. There's a troll.
Yeah. I thought it was a little bit silly that during the crawl sequence they have like a voiceover reading it to you, and I was like,
I think it's dope. I think it's cool words.
I mean, to me, I was like, damn, you really don't trust your audience to read all of that. But yeah, like it's
I think it was intended.
No, yeah. And the climax of this
on 35mm.
Yeah, the climax of this movie just great. Again, like it's difficult to talk about this, but hopefully next month, once Evan watches it, we can talk about spoilers.
Go see this movie. It's if you love thrillers, if you love cool fucking movies, go watch this.
Original movies, yeah. This one's for the weirdos.
It is for the sickos for sure.
Is there anything else you have?
I have a few first watches. I talked about Shawshank already. I went on a Wes Anderson rewatch, but I don't need to talk about it because I just love that man so much. I love his movies so much. They're really special to me. I saw Fantastic Mr. Fox at the New Beverly on film twice the weekend I played because it was so good. Okay. Oh, this is a fun one. Have you seen Thelma and Louise? Sticking on Ridley Scott, the Ridley Scott theme.
I have the 4K, but I'm waiting for November to do my little Ridley Scott rewatch. Yeah. But it will be my first time. Yeah, it'll be my first time.
Yeah, I also have the Criterion 4K. Popped that sucker in this month, and I was fucking wowed by this movie. Like, it is just a fun buddy comedy road trip movie. Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis are incredible. It is like the epitome of coolness. Like, it's so cool. It's shot incredibly well. The script is really interesting, and goes in places you wouldn't expect, and it's just like, it is good queer cinema. I don't know, like, I mean, yeah, the ending, yeah, I won't spoil it, but the ending's incredible. And
one of the things that
I think you're really that did this.
Yeah, one of the things that fascinates me is that I know this is one out of 3 only movies that he's ever been nominated for Best Director. Is that one, Gladiator,
really?
and Black Hawk Down? Just those 3, yeah.
I mean, deserving. Once you see it, you'll get it. Anything else? All right, I'll do 3 more, just quick. I'll do a little rapid fire. Give me 1 second. All right, I watched The Dark Crystal for the first time. Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal. Is that Muppet shit. It is high fantasy, and I fucking adore this movie. It is weird. It is like, I am surprised this got made. It is entirely puppets, and the sets are unbelievable. The costumes, obviously, the puppetry is incredible. The story is really interesting. It's like the Chosen One type of deal. And it's just like the artistry and ambition on display here is just, it is like awe-inspiring of how this got made in the 80s, and it's like something we'll never see to this level again. It is like freaky vibes.
Yeah, The Dark Crystal, right?
Yeah.
I think I've seen this movie, but I mostly remember this because of the TV show. It's because of that.
I'm excited to dive into that at some point.
But yeah, this is like, right. If I've seen it, I need to rewatch it.
Mm-hmm. I loved it. American Psycho, I watched for the first time. The Film Bureau movie, but I loved it. I really like it really got under my skin. It's really like sickening, but also it's fucking hilarious. The way Mary Herron, the director, like balances these tones is really impressive. It's very good. And lastly, The Truman Show, I watched for the first time. Jim Carrey, I think probably one of his best performances. This is one of those movies that makes you think, makes you contemplate your own life, and probably one of the best screenplays I've ever seen unfold. Masterpiece.
Yeah, I haven't seen this movie in a solid second, but I have it on my personal all-time favorites.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's incredible. There's like not much you can say about it that hasn't been said about it before.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Like, it's just, everyone said, like, it's just a masterpiece. Like, it is. It's one of the best. Yeah.
Is there a 4K release for that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
And before we close up, actually, I just forgot. I remember that I have one last thing. Oddity. I don't think I talked about it last month.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Again, this movie is really good. The way that it builds atmosphere is great. I kind of like that it kind of had like that Conjuring vibe of like this person that kind of senses, things like Lorraine Warren or whatever. Beautiful cinematography. I think, again, I'm not gonna spoil it again. Go watch it, original movie. But like the way that it plays with like the core mystery. It's really good, even though I feel like it's a little bit obvious. But again, I don't think the movie really treats it as like it's supposed to be like a super big review. It's mostly like
I think it gets a little bit lost in the sauce when the certain thing comes alive. That's all I'll say. I think that's a little doofy, a little too doofy for me. But the last shot is fucking perfection.
Yeah, and for me, like I know you've talked about the one thing that got you from this movie. What got me is like a sequence that takes place on a tent, and that's all I'm gonna say. With a camera.
Yeah, there's a lot of good jump scares in this. It's just really good atmospheric horror.
What else has this director done? Was this like his first one? I think this is his first one, right? Yeah, I think he's only been doing mostly shorts. If it is,
he had Caveat. It says 88 minutes.
Okay. Oh, this looks weird. I might watch it. But yeah, that's it for me.
One more thing. I did pop in. I got the 4K steal a bit ago. I popped in Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Man, have you seen this movie?
No. One of my blind spots in horror, but I might watch.
Get the 4K. Get the 4K. It is one of the best 4Ks I've seen. Like, the transfer is incredible. The colors fucking pop. It looks unbelievable. It sounds really good, and it's just delightful, like camp, and like it's just a doofy slasher. It's really, really fun, and the sets are incredible. Have
you seen Gremlins?
I have not seen Gremlins. That's a blind spot for me.
I was gonna say it's kind of like that type of tone, but
yeah, I've seen bits of Gremlins. I haven't seen the entire thing. It's pretty similar.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's something I might actually get that because of spooky season.
Do it. The 4K on that OLED. Oh, it's incredible, dude.
I think it's on sale right now at Walmart too, so I might get it.
Yeah. All right, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, Josh, where can people find you?
At Josh D. Woodbury on Twitter for random thoughts. And actually do have one little thing to shout out. Friend of the show, Nikki Kumar. He has his podcast, the Imperial Senate Podcast. He does his own little like just conversation based thing, the Yub Nub Club. I was on that recently. We talked about our experience at D23. And just that shifted into just being depressed about the state of the industry right now, and it was this really interesting, really needed conversation with a good friend. So if you want to go check that out, the Imperial Senate Podcast on all your favorite podcast services.
Yeah, and you can find this podcast at WHFG Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, all social medias. You can find me at EDGRTEG as well, all social medias. You can find some of my written work at Loud and Clear Reviews and the Cinema Spot. Thank you to everybody who watched the House of the Dragon episodes that we did, all the breakdowns that did really well. We'll probably do that for another type of show, maybe next year. Definitely The Last of Us. Yeah. And again, to the person that won the digital code for Beetlejuice at Newtology, just shoot us a DM on Twitter. That will probably be the easiest way to give it to you. So yeah, that's good. And what's our next thing? We need to plan our spooky commentaries, but that's a conversation.
Red Eye needs to happen. West Raven's Red Eye.
I need to buy that before that. But yeah, it does. Yeah. We need to do more than one, though. At least 2 or 3. Oh yeah. But yeah.
I think Halloween 3 would be a fun one.
The Season of the Witch, or which one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
I've seen it. I've seen all of them. It's been a minute with all of them. It's funny enough, the ones that I rewatched a few years ago were like the Rob Zombie ones, but yeah.
I haven't seen those ones yet.
But yeah, we will see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get our